Okay, here's a thought. What if everyone in your life, even the ones who really challenge you or seem to work against you, what if they're actually playing some kind of hidden part?
It sounds a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that's exactly the kind of idea we're diving into today.
Right. We're looking at a lecture by Neville Goddard. This one's from May 5th, 1972. And he gets into this idea, even suggesting that the quote-unquote wicked have a purpose.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating isn't that he's like letting people off the hook for bad behavior, but he's offering this completely different lens on cause and effect. It starts with this idea of duality
Yeah,
inside us.
duality. Okay, tell me more. He mentions two men within each person.
Exactly. There's the sense man, which
Yeah.
is, us experiencing the world through sight, sound, touch, the physical stuff. Pretty straightforward.
The everyday us. And the second one.
That's the imagination man, our spiritual side, the creative bit, the part that dreams things up, that sees beyond just what's right in front of us.
Ah,
And here's the kicker. Goddard says this imagination man is the one that's ultimately, well, destined to be in charge. It's where creation actually starts.
wow. Okay, so not just daydreaming. This is presented as the actual power source.
That's the core idea. And if you can sort of grasp this tension or interplay between the physical you and the imaginative you, it can totally shift how you see things.
How so?
Well, it might change how you understand why things happen, why people act the way they do, and maybe even find a way towards, forgiveness.
Forgiveness. That's big, especially when someone feels like they're deliberately making things difficult.
Right. It's a radical shift.
So what's our main goal with this deep dive then? What are we trying to unpack?
We really want to explore these two men, understand this concept that maybe one single consciousness is behind all the roles we see people playing, and figure out how using our own imagination, how that changes everything.
Got it. Okay, so let's dig into these two men. He apparently links this back to Genesis, something about two nations within.
Yes, precisely. He interprets that as the sense man being the first one, the one tied to the earth, the physical, our normal waking consciousness relying on evidence.
Yes, sense.
But then there's the younger one, the one that's supposed to rule.
Yeah.
That's the imagination man. Goddard calls him the Lord from heaven, our immortal core.
Immortal. So this implies that when we look around, we're seeing more than just people.
According to Goddard, yes. He suggests there's one fundamental being, could be God, could be our own collective imagination, he uses these terms somewhat interchangeably, that's basically animating everything.
Like actors on a stage.
Exactly like that. Think of one actor playing the hero and the villain. Deep down, they're not separate entities. It's the same actor just embodying different states, different roles.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
Yeah.
The person who gives you a break and the person who cuts you off in traffic, fundamentally the same source energy.
That's the implication. The physical person, the sense man, is just wearing the costume of a certain state for a while. It's temporary.
Okay, wow. Now, to make this concrete, Goddard tells this story, right, about getting tickets to the opera Aida when it was totally sold out.
Ah, yes, the Aida story.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic illustration. So the situation is performance completely sold out. Newspapers confirm it. Looks impossible.
Logically, yeah. No way.
But Neville, before he even leaves his hotel, he does something crucial. He assumes his brothers are already enjoying the opera. He doesn't just hope. He generates the feeling of it being done.
That feeling part seems critical. He assumed it before anything happened.
Absolutely vital. So he goes to the opera house anyway, sees the sold-out signs, waits in line, and then he sees this guy, described as tall and blonde, trying to pull a fast one on the ticket seller.
A con man. What was he doing?
Trying to confuse the seller about whether he'd paid for some other tickets, basically trying to cheat the system.
Okay.
And Neville, feeling it wasn't right, steps in, he calls the guy out, clarifies the situation, exposes the attempted con.
He intervened.
He did, and the ticket seller, obviously flustered, but also grateful to Neville for sorting it out.
Yeah.
Well, he says something like, you know what, for you, and pulls out 2 VIP tickets for Aida, the sold-out show.
No way. Just like that.
Just like that, because Neville intervened.
So the con man, trying to be dishonest, actually created the opening for Neville to get what he wanted.
That's exactly Goddard's point. The con man, being in that specific state, Goddard calls it a state called a thief, unknowingly played an essential part in fulfilling Neville's assumption.
Wow.
If that guy hadn't been there acting that way, Neville probably walks away empty-handed. So yeah, even negative actions, negative states can somehow serve a purpose in the unfolding of your own desires.
Which brings us back to that idea about forgiving the wicked. He
Ah.
mentions a proverb.
Proverbs 16.4, yeah. He made everything for its purpose, even the wicked, for the day of trouble.
And the trouble here wasn't some huge disaster. It was just not being able to get tickets.
Exactly. It can be any obstacle. The con man, in his wicked state from one perspective, served a purpose in overcoming Neville's specific day of trouble. It forces you to look at causality differently.
So it's not saying the con was okay, ethically,
Not at all.
but understanding that the action within this larger framework had an unexpected positive outcome for Neville.
Precisely. And if you start seeing things that way, maybe it makes forgiveness a bit easier. You see the role, not just the person seemingly acting against you.
Okay, let's circle back to Neville's assumption. He felt it beforehand. How important is the feeling itself?
Oh, it's everything. Goddard is really clear on this. Just having an idea like, wouldn't be nice to have tickets, isn't enough. You have to feel it, feel the reality of it in your imagination.
Like it's already happened.
Yes, that spiritual sensation, as he calls it, that's the creative act. He even mentions Churchill saying, mood determines fortune. The feeling comes first.
Right. He uses that biblical story too, Jacob deceiving Isaac.
Yeah, that's a powerful example for him.
Yeah.
Jacob gets the blessing because he feels like Esau, right?
Yeah.
The goat skins on his hands. It wasn't just words. It was tricking, the sense of touch, the feeling. Goddard says, the secret is in the feeling.
So it's more than just picturing it. It's embodying the emotion. Like if you desire a rose, you imagine feeling the velvet petals.
Exactly that. You engage your imaginative senses, feel the velvet, smell the scent, even if it's not physically there. When you reach that point of sensory vividness with feeling, Goddard suggests the creative act is complete.
And then things unfold, maybe unexpectedly, like with the tickets.
Often in ways you couldn't have logically planned.
He also talks quite a bit about states. What are these states of being?
Think of them as roles or conditions or perspectives that people occupy, like being wealthy, being poor, being healthy, being sick, being a thief, being honest, infinite possibilities.
Okay.
Goddard's view is that individuals move in and out of these states, sometimes consciously, often unconsciously, but the core being in the state, the occupant, the divine imagination within everyone, that's the same.
So the con man was occupying the thief state.
But the underlying potential, the divine spark, was still the same imagination that's in everyone. It's like costumes worn by the same actor.
And understanding that leads back to forgiveness, seeing the state, not just the person.
Exactly. If you see someone acting from, say, a state of fear or anger, you understand why they might act that way. It doesn't excuse harm, but it allows you to see the mechanism, the state they're trapped in, perhaps. It broadens your view of cause and effect.
So you can sort of excuse the behavior because you understand the state driving it.
That seems to be the idea. It fosters a kind of universal forgiveness, recognizing everyone's just playing out their current state within this huge interconnected drama.
Right. Okay, this makes a lot of sense conceptually, but practically, let's say someone listening wants a better job or more money. What's the advice?
The advice is consistent. Assume you have it. Don't just wish for it. Go into the feeling, the state of already having that better job or that financial security.
Live from that feeling.
Yes. Live in that assumption. And then trust that the world, including other people in their various states, will somehow arrange itself to bring it about, like the con man of the ticket seller did for Neville. You don't force it. You allow it by maintaining the feeling.
So you change your inner state, your feeling of I am.
Which Goddard equates directly with God, that power within you.
And trust the outer world to reflect it. Okay. What about dreams? He mentions dreams about death. That sounds kind of alarming.
Yeah, it can sound that way, but his take is actually quite positive. He sees dreams of death, even your own, as signs of psychological or spiritual growth.
Growth? How?
It signifies you're outgrowing an old state of consciousness, letting go of an old limitation or belief, like a seed has to die in the ground to sprout into a plant. It's about transformation, moving into a newer, more expanded state.
So not a literal prediction, but a symbol of interchange. That's reassuring.
Definitely. It's about shedding the old self.
Okay, so let's try and wrap up the main takeaways from this lecture. We've got the two sides of us, the sensory, physical person, and the powerful, imaginative person.
Right, the sense man and the imagination man, with imagination being key.
Then there's this big idea that one underlying consciousness, one being, is playing all the parts, even the difficult ones.
Which changes how we see others and maybe leads towards forgiveness.
And crucially, the power isn't just in thinking, it's in feeling the wish fulfilled, assuming it's already real.
That's the engine of creation, according to Goddard. The spiritual sensation.
So understanding this,
Yeah.
it can move us away from feeling like victims of circumstance, maybe, towards recognizing our own creative power.
Absolutely. From judgment and frustration towards understanding and, well, agency through imagination.
Right. So a final thought for everyone listening tonight. Maybe pick one thing you desire, just one. And tonight, try to really sink into the feeling of having it already.
Live in that feeling for a bit.
Yeah. And just notice how might thinking this way, seeing everyone as playing a part, maybe change how you interact with people tomorrow, how you see things. If everyone is playing a part, now that you're maybe a bit more aware of this framework, what part are you going to consciously choose to play?